Hi everybody, it's Steve Love and the administrator on the Cut It Out show. Today we're going to talk about prostate cancer. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there don't really believe it's going to be you, but let me tell you, it's a 1 in 4 chance it's going to be you. Now this is something we need to take serious attention to because we're losing a lot of guys. And we need you. Your life matters. You matter. If not for yourself, for your children, or your wife, or your mother. But your life matters. Now, as far as I'm aware, from the age of 45, you need to start taking your test. A PSA test. Get to your GP and ask your GP for a PSA test. I'm just a simple man out here trying to get everybody aware that we need to get ourselves healthy. But what we need to do is understand the resources we have at our disposal. And I know that the administrator have a few things to say on this subject, so I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. Let him give you his analysis. Administrator.
Yes, Stevie Love. Thank you for the nice introduction. And what a topic we're talking about today. Few points I'd like to make regarding some statistics, just to put some things in perspective, just so we understand the impact of this lethal disease in the culture. So they say 1 in 4 black men are impacted, and this is double in comparison to the 1 in 8 of men in general. 63,000 men are diagnosed every year, and 10,000 men are diagnosed too late. And when we say too late, this is at stages 3 and 4, which are very dangerous to a man's health. And also 12,000 men die each year from the disease. As you can hear from the statistics that I'm mentioning, it's lethal to all men in general. But to us as black men, it's even more dangerous, and there's even more reason for us to get ourselves checked out. But the point I like to emphasize on is, like, which you quite rightly mentioned, we need to just get ourselves checked out within the culture. And you mentioned also about from the ages of 45 onwards, men should start doing the prostate cancer check, which I call the MOT, once a year routine check. But to go one step further, for the young men out there, especially within the culture, within the risk category of the 1 in 4, specifically black men that might have a history of prostate cancer in their family with them father. Now, I know you mentioned some stuff now about biopsy and things like that, which I understand can be a physical examination, and that's the fear that most men find is a big barrier for the checkout. But I'm pleased to say that Prostate Cancer UK have developed some really, really useful tools and things that man can use so you can avoid feeling that apprehension and anxiety. So what they created was this thing called Prostate Cancer Risk Checker, which only takes around 30 seconds to complete. And you can go on the website, or you can type in Google to check it out. But all you need to do is, it's just a self-diagnosis tool where you just complete a few questions and just see if there's any symptoms that you have. And then if any symptoms from the questionnaire that come up that show that you might need to get yourself checked out, the first step is to just book an appointment with your doctor. Hopefully that session goes very well. And then the doctor will recommend you to do a blood test. Now, many people say PSA test, but don't know what the actual acronym mean in terms of what PSA stands for. But I'll just give Uno a quick tip. So PSA stands for prostate specific antigen. And what that means is because it's what you're specifically checking out in terms of the prostate test within that blood test that you're doing. But this is a disease, unfortunately, that doesn't show too many symptoms at the earliest stages. Hence why it's even more important to get yourself checked out. And the longer you leave it, the costlier it will become later on in life. So reverting back to your point, thank you so much, Stevie Love, for bringing up such an important issue that is close to my heart and especially yours, because you know it affects the culture. And I hope that this awareness and education that we're sharing today will help incentivize many more black men in the culture to go and get themselves checked out. And if there's any sisters in the society and community there, please, I encourage you to inform your brother, inform your father, inform your uncle, inform your picnic them, and tell them to book an appointment without no hesitation, especially if they're within that vulnerable category, 45 onwards. And just get the check out, because what you'll be doing, sister, you'll be saving a life. But after that now, I'm going to pass it over to you. But thank you very much for giving me a few moments to say my piece. Bless up.
Thank you very much, Administrator. That was very special, very informative, and to the point. Well, thank you also for bringing up the ladies. So I hope we made you feel a little bit easier. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to say, reach out in the comments. We'll be quite happy to answer those questions, maybe at our next visit. But for now, it's Stevie Love and the Administrator signing out of the Cut It Out Show. Don't forget, cut it out.